Today we are going to discuss about the more depth in the safety and health program, and this would be the last part of the section 1. So in this part, we want to know, as an engineer, you suppose you are an engineer and you're working in the construction, okay? What kind of safety rule I have to do? How should I do it? Because you might tell me, I'm completely blind. Is it enough just the worker wear helmets, boots? Is that all? Or I should use some strategy, some method? This is your answer. Listen carefully to this section and you will learn so many information. First of all, what we want to study today is recognize the cause of accidents, which means if some accident happen, we don't want to happen actually, it's against our will, but what kind of results does it have for us? We want to know the benefit of implementing the safety rules, element effective safety and health program. We want to describe it in the more detail, and the method to prevent the accident or hazard in the construction site. Okay? First of all, we just said we want to know what kind of cost the accident had for us. Let me expand this page. Okay, it's better. We got some cost. We distributed to direct and indirect. The direct cost, at least as you can see, the cost of the treatment of the worker who got accident already. The cost of paying for the hospital. The cost of the medicine. The medicine and the hospital are two different, because cost of hospital is the money the employee may pay only for the hospital, but after hospital the worker still needs some medicine, some remedy that have different costs. Maybe some, what we call it, like physiotherapy, something like that. Cost of medical equipment in order of breaking hand or leg or something like that. So these all different direct costs that put on the shoulder of you and your project. There are some indirect costs. We already discussed in the previous week, if you have noticed, some of these indirect costs. There is a delay. We might face a delay on the completion date of the project. Definitely, it's one of the worst nightmare for any project manager to face a delay. Lower morale, increased absenteeism, poor customer relation, and retraining for the workers. These are considered as indirect costs. Okay. And the benefit and safety health program. There are some benefits, of course. Finding this benefit is very easy as long as you not face any of this problem, as long as you not face any of this problem, you already have benefit. But let's review it. Some of the benefits. Follow the OSH rules, improvement in the process and final product, better morale, improve recruiting and retention, more favorable reputation of yourself and your company in the construction era. So now we just review what kind of consequence your project, your company might face, such as direct costs and indirect costs. It puts some costs on your company. So now, if we follow the OSH rule, what kind of element we have to fulfill? What kind of principle we need to follow? You might tell yourself, okay, I don't want any accident. But what should I do? What exactly, exclusively, I have to follow to avoid any accident in my project? Well, is very easy, and at the same time is not easy. It's easy because we know what we have to do. We're going to learn. It's not easy because you have to do it in the reality. Let's review. The first element or principle, management, leadership. Who must be leader? How you can be a leader? This is the hard part that you need to achieve through the study, through the experience. But let's see what is the detail. The first element of this safety and health we just mentioned is management, leadership. But what action you have to make as a leader? You need communicate safety and health program. Okay, how should I do that? Let's see. You need establish a written safety and policy statement and give it to the top management to sign it. Then everybody must follow it because it becomes written rule by your company. So what does it mean? You have to be leader by establish a written safety and policy rule in your project. Because this written, which already signed by top management, will become a rule that everybody must follow. It's compulsory for everybody to follow it. And leadership, another item. Communicate the policy to all workers, contractors, union, supplier, visitors, and customers, and others, etc. The second action, to become a leader, the leader who wants to follow the safety and rule program. Define the program goals. Means you show everybody who work with you and under your supervision that what you want to achieve. Yes, you want to achieve to finish the construction project. But here we not talk exactly about constructing a building, but more into the how we have to apply the safety rules. If we follow the safety rules properly, okay, means this trend, this this car will reach to the destination properly, which the destination is finishing the project. It's just like the example. So become a leader in the safety and regulation rules. How you have to do that? Establish a realistic goal. Establish attainable goal. This goal is helping us to follow the safety and regulation. The second action to become a leadership, allocate the resources. Integrate safety health into planning and budgeting. This is very important because planning is something you already might definitely read about what is the planning in sustainability subject, sustainability construction management subject. And budgeting is something else. Scheduling also something else. We not talk about the scheduling here. We just want to integrate, merge the safety rule into planning and budgeting. For example, I want to give you a very small example to make it more understandable for you. How we integrate safety rule with budgeting means when you calculate the project budget, you need to consider everything that necessary for the safety, and workers need to use them. For example, some helmets, some clothes for the worker, some scaffolding price need to be considered in the project, the net we install around the project to avoid when something, if in case something fall down. So that's also need to be considered. The fourth action is expect performance. Define the responsibility for accountability. Set example for workers by following same procedures. So if you follow these 4 steps, make it responsibility for your leadership stage, means this is what you had to do to avoid an accident. There are 7 different stages. This is just the first stage. Second stage is worker participation. So maybe it's be strange for some of you how I have to invite worker to participate in the safety. Maybe they are not well knowledgeable, maybe they're not educated. How can I expect them to share some of my responsibility with them? Is it even possible? Yes, not only possible, but it's one of the strategies to avoid accidents on the site. So, worker participation. The first element, encourage worker to report any issue that might lead to accidents, which, for example, we call it near misses. Means something happened, and that happened, it was very close to create a damage. If they witness something like that, they need to immediately report. Or any injury, or any other concern related to the safety and health. So the first step for this work participation, you have to tell them. You need to report to me if something suspicious, if something you think will be broken and leads to injury. Means you have to invite them to collaborate in the safety actively, not passively. Passively means you ask them, you just do your job and leave the safety to me, none of your business, which is a little arrogant, yes, I agree, and completely unprofessional. What you have to do, encourage them. If you saw something, please everybody, immediately report to me or call to my number. Okay? The second action or task is encourage participation in the program. Means create a program for workers such as positive reinforcement worker who participate. Means encourage them. If you attend in this program which related to the safety, you will get some point or bonus or something like that. Inviting workers to speak to manager about the safety. Means some cases they have more experience. Of course, not in your job, but their own job. That might we miss it, we skip it. We can use of their experience. I'll go back to worker participation. Action 3 for worker participation, involve workers in all aspects of the program. For example, what kind of program we need to involve them? Developing a program, reporting hazard, and developing solution. This actually goes back to number 1, encourage them, but here we're expanding. Developing solution as well, analyzing the hazard, defining safe work, and some other item you can read. And let me know if you have a question. Now, let's move to number 4 for the worker participation. Give workers access to the safety information. Don't hide it from them just because they are not engineers. After all, their workers are the group, the target group that's most vulnerable to accident, injury, or incident. So what we learn from here is it's very important to invite the worker to actively collaborate in the safety program and remove barrier to participation. Means when you invite them to access to the safety information, you invite them to be involved in the program. Same time, you must remove the communication barrier among you and the worker. Okay, now the third element of the safety program, we are reviewing how we can bring the safety to the construction site, to our job. Okay, there are 7 elements. Now we are going to learn about the third one, which is hazard identification and assessment. There are action need to be taken here. For example, collect existing information about any danger, any near miss that's available on the site. Action 2, inspect the workplace. And this inspection must be regularly, every day. Every day, not every month or every other weeks or every other day. Okay? Every day. Routine inspection of equipment, material, and talk to workers. Normally, when you start your job, if you choose to become site manager or engineer on the site, you're going to have a place with some facility on the site. We studied about it last week. You remember the location site layout? Okay, you have an office there. When you have an office, it does not mean you sit there in your office 8 morning until 6 p.m. This is not acceptable. You always need to go visit the work progress and talk to the worker about one of the things you need to talk to them about the safety and health issue. Conduct incident investigation. Identify hazard associated with emergency and non-routine situation. So this we call it conduct tabletop exercise that help you to plan and test your response plan and procedures. So this was stage for element third. Now element fourth. What we have here? Hazard prevention and control. Here we want to know how we can prevent the hazard and control the situation. We want to actually prevent of injury or accident happen to the workers. Same as previous one, we have some action here. Let's see, what is the first action toward hazard prevention? Identify control options. Control options, what is that? What we have to identify? Let's see, how to accomplish it. Review literature, OSha standards. You remember NIOSH? We studied about it on the second week. There were 3 different departments in Malaysia who are responsible and working on the safety. And one of them, we work on publishing a new research. Yes, that's it. New publication, and also the other 2 department work is hidden inside this ETC for potential control measures. And then another step to identify control options, get inputs from workers, safety consultants, or investigate other workplace with the similar hazards. I still can add or use, for example, the next item, use your experience from previous workplace, especially if your previous work had some similarity with the current job. how you can identify the control options and prevent the incident. Action 2, select the controls. Select the controls using the hierarchy of controls. Use combination with no single method fully protected the workers. Action 3, develop, update a hazard control plan, which means you need a method to accomplish this, right? So what are those methods? Develop and update a hazard control plan need to be accomplished through the list hazards in order of priority, assign responsibility to a person, and establish a target completion date for that specific task, and plan how to track progress and verification of implementation on the site. Now number 4, action 4, select controls for emergency and non-routine operations. How you have to do that? Develop procedures to control hazard during this situation. Assign responsibility for implementing the plan and conduct emergency drills. So you can see there are so many things you have to do in order to invite the safety to your site. If that was easy and we could do it just one procedures, then I believe we never could see any accident on the construction site or any industry. But you can see this is complicated and require a heavy job. I want to show you something. Give me a second. Okay, take a look here. Let's see what we have. You see, there are so many process, so many communication, so many hard work need to be done. Why? We just want to avoid accidents, to not face that direct and indirect cost. But however, let's see the number of the accident in the construction industry in Malaysia since 2014 to 2021. The number actually since 2014 increased, rose from 172 to 247 in just 2 years. That's like, I don't know how many percent, 30% something maybe, increase in 1 year. But during 2017 and 18 has slightly declined from 247 reached to 232. Means something like, if I'm not mistaken, like less than 20, 15, something like that. But still, it's a huge number. And in 2019, again increased to 326, which is the highest during since last 6 years. And surprisingly, it decreased heavily during 22 and 21. Why suddenly decrease? I guess this might contributed to the COVID situation. Maybe have some effect because so many construction companies and projects stopped their operation during the COVID situation. However, despite so many projects stopped, but we are witness with the high number of accidents these 2 years, within these 2 years. This must show us, this graph will show us why this subject is very important. Why learning about controlling the safety on the site is very important. Mostly, these accidents happen on the big cities such as KL or JBs, which have more active construction projects. You can Google and learn more about this issue. So, another thing we want to review is the rate of this accident, how it was actually done, is related to which activity. Take a look here. Here is another figure we have here. The years are different from the previous one because here they just evaluate, investigate from 2010 to 2013. Take a look here. Most accidents that happened within these 4 years was in the superstructure stage, constructing the superstructure stage. You remember last week we discussed what is substructure and superstructure. So here, superstructure responsible for the highest rate of accident. Then only we can go to the movement of another issue, traffic. Then go to hoist equipment, which is mostly related to falling worker from high. So you can see it's very interesting to learn this information because then you know why you have to learn about this topic or why this is very important. Okay, number 4, element of safety, education and training. Action 1 in education training, provide program, awareness training, which how we have to do that. It's very clear because we need to provide training for all and every single body, every single person on the site, as manager, supervisor, worker, contractors, temporary workers. I think I mentioned all. So why they need training? They need to know actually about the procedures of safety, emergency situation, reporting of injury, and also other rights on which mentioned on the OSha. In short, the training is provided in language and literacy level that all workers can understand. Action 2, second action, train workers on a specific responsibility and rules which related to the safety, which help them to focus on their task. How we do that? How we have to accomplish it? Instruct worker with a specific rule within the safety health program and provide opportunity for worker so they can ask their questions and offer them, give the feedback during the training. This is have some privilege not only for you because you can use their information, knowledge. They definitely have knowledge. Somebody who worked 20 years, 15 years in same task have a very good experience. Rather you that you just start your job or after 5 years, even after many years, because you never did that job. You will just observe as engineer. And secondly, second advantage, they by expressing their feedback, their question, the other workers also can get advantage, get privilege from their question and their knowledge. Because after any question, there will be a discussion. So everybody can learn more. And train workers on hazard identification and control. How to accomplish it? Train manager and worker on technique for identifying hazard, such as job hazard analysis. Have workers demonstrate they can recognize hazard and understand why controls are in place. Provide training on new tasks, and there are other discussions that can have, which is all related to education and training. Okay, let's see what is the number 5 or 6. I'm losing the counting the number. It's okay. Program evaluation and improvement can help the safety health program, but how? Action 1. Verify program is implemented and is operating. How you have to do that? Verify the program that is operating. Verify the core elements of program are fully met and key process are in place and implemented. Verify injuries are being reported. Inspection are conducted and progress is being tracked in controlling, identify the hazard. Correct program, efficiency, and identify opportunities to improve. Why we have to do that? Is there any problem? Yes, because from beginning, we always repeat that construction site, construction work are very complicated place, complicated job, which always vulnerable to some problem or deficiency. What we have to do? We have to overcome this deficiency, this difficulty by providing some plan B to improve the current situation. How we have to do that? Seek input, looking for input from manager, supervisor, worker, stakeholder, and whoever can share their knowledge with us. Determine whether the change is good or not. Determine whether the metrics are still relevant and how you can change them to be more efficient, to be more appropriate. Finally, how can rectify the deficiency. Finally, the last element of safety health is multi-employer work site. Sorry? So what is that? How we have to fulfill that? Management leadership provide copy of safety health policy to all contractors, all subcontractors you have, so they can know what is the situation. Worker participation. Encourage employees to raise safety concerns. Somehow we discuss about it on the second element and third element. Host employee perform a worksite hazard assessment and share the results. Hazard prevention and control. Before starting the work, the host employee gives contractor information about the program. The host employee, this one, education and training. I think we discussed about it already. Let's skip. Now, what are the methods to prevent the hazard. We already discussed, but we want to know what is the benefit of preventing the hazard. First, we protect the workers from the hazard by effective control. What are the benefits of having an effective control? We help avoid injury. When you read this, remember direct costs and the indirect costs. Okay? Then you can understand it much more easy. Why I have to read this? Why I need to get this information? Minimize the risk, so that action will not lead to accident. Help employers provide safe and health conditions. That's all you have to do. Any question, please share with class. Please speak up. Let's see. Any question? Okay, Muhammad. Then hang on, make your attendance. And please don't forget to upload your assignments before the deadline. To get the full mark. Proper documents such as IC or passport, permit, CIDB, green card that you can see in this picture. There are also some signs need to be used if necessary. As you can see here, there are so many signs that's related to different issue. Well, this is not in English, however, it's still easy to understand, such as this one, don't smoke, or drinking water, and some equipment for protect the health of the workers. PPE, here you can see personal protective equipment. What else we have here? You remember last week we discussed about the site riot. You can see how you have to protect the equipment against the raining, for example. Okay, finally ready for your attendance. Okay, use your phone.